Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.
We're in Way Media. Back to Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, where this season we're taking a look at George A. Romero's 1980s series, Tales from the Darkside. Sharing the Midnight View with me are the Culture Cast's Chris Stashew.
Those lights are twinkling, Clark.
And the Projection Booth's Mike White.
Beware the zither. Oh, wait.
Tonight we are taking a look at two episodes from season 3. Those are Season of Belief and Miss May Dusa. Seasons, that was correct the first time. Seasons of Belief is season 3, episode 11, originally aired on December the 29th, 1986. That's right, 4 days after Christmas. Written by Michael McDowell from a short story by Michael Bishop and directed by Michael McDowell, starring E.G. Marshall, Margaret Klink, Skye Berdahl, and Jenna Van Oy, 6 from Blossom. This is a twisted tale of Christmas that you weren't really getting on television in those days. You know what, guys? I'm going to take the lead on this one because this is, in fact, my favorite episode of Tales from the Darkside.
Fuck yeah. All right. This is an acceptable one to be your favorite. This is a fucking insane episode of the show.
Much like on Night Gallery, Big Surprise, the Richard Matheson, John Carradine, What the Fuck is Going On Here episode. This, if my love of the series hadn't been cemented prior to this, what a crazy fucking thing to see on around Christmas time when I was 13 years old. Now, it's hard to imagine in a world where every holiday is up for horror grabs these days. There is nothing sacred that you can't do a horror movie about now. But there was a time where Christmas was still a sacred thing. I remember protests when Silent Night, Deadly Night came out, just because it was being advertised.
Man, if only people had known what they were getting and what people would end up remembering from that series. Garbage Day has nothing to do with the holidays.
And
Other than the day of the week nobody celebrates, which should be Garbage Day.
and prior to that, how many horror Christmas tales were there other than the Tales from the Crypt adaptation and
Black Christmas?
the original Black Christmas? I think maybe one or two others mainly, right? Certainly nothing like we've received in the past 20 or so years. Certainly nothing on national television, which just slipped right under the radar and gave us this, which just on a level of malevolent parents, this is a fucked up story to be telling your kids at Christmas. Not to mention where it goes and this new mythology it creates. I know that everything in this episode is sloppy. None of it makes any real sense, and it's not helped by weird touches like E.G. Marshall and Margaret Clink somehow being husband and wife when he...
Thank you. He's so old compared to her. And I just kept thinking father and daughter. And then when it was like, no, mom and dad, what?
She's into older guys. He's
Okay.
old. He's older guy.
That's what we end up with, and we have to go there.
Yeah, literally. Do we have? I guess we have to.
But really, it's just grandpa, right?
You would think in any other thing written by any other person, 9 times out of 10, yeah.
But it's Michael McDowell.
So it was just like, yeah, he's his dad, their dad.
The episode
He was born 1914. She was born 19.
That's because everybody knows that EG standing for extra gordo, and they were talking about his fat dong. Because the idea of she's gorgeous, and I'm not saying he's not a good-looking guy, but the lights aren't twinkling, Clark. This is fucking post-Christmas Vacation, if not like the same year, essentially, where he's playing the grandpa. What?
So that makes Margaret Clink 33 here, right? And they have children who are about, 7, 8. So when she was 22 or 23 is when they got together. Now, okay.
Gold digger. He's providing for her, guys.
You know what? I'm not judging anybody in their relationship.
They're just waiting.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for who the hell to show up for the Tales from the Crypt episode, because this also looks like the same house from that Christmas episode. Wait for Larry Drake to show up as Santa Claus.
She's a grampy shagger.
Gilf lover?
Yes.
Okay.
Granddad. Never mind.
I'm not going to judge their relationship, but I will say that it only adds to like I said, the total bizarre quality of the episode. The fact that, okay, these two are married. Actually, you know what? It makes sense because she's fucking weird. And
he did cross stitch on Christmas.
No, it's, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Let's completely twist our children's minds. Even if what they're talking about ends up just being a fable they're telling their kids, those children are fucked for the rest of Christmases from this story that they told them. Just the fact that her brother shows up in a fucking, basically a ghillie suit, convincing them that the Grither did show up, it's bad. Okay. Okay, now I'm pointing out the things that are bad in the episode because I want you guys to know that I do recognize them, even though I adore this one.
I just want you to know I was literally not going to drag this episode at all. I want you to know this just ahead of time.
No, because here's the thing. I watch it every year, and every year I see all of these things, and my heart still glows while watching it. The other thing in the episode, recently I was over on a Year in Horror podcast. We were discussing Pet Sematary, the 89 version.
Oh, I'm glad you had to qualify that.
Yeah, unfortunately, now in this day and age. Right. Are you talking about the prequel to the remake sequel movie? That one?
Bloodlines? No, we talked about that too. Anyway, Ellie, the daughter in Pet Sematary, is named Blaise Berdal, right? And when I was watching this episode, having just watched Pet Sematary, watching the children's performances and the little girl in particular, I thought, wow, this girl's great. Thank God we don't have even the barest whiff of Blaise Berdal in her performance. But this boy is really fucking terrible. Sky Berdal.
Oh, geez. Oh, talent doesn't run deep in the Berdal family, huh?
It's her brother.
The line that I would have quoted if I hadn't quoted Christmas Vacation would have been "Grither, Grither, Grither," because that is all he says. It's
He
so
reminded
awful.
me so much of the little boy from Jurassic Park, where you just want to smack that kid.
Joseph Mazzaro. I feel bad for you saying that about Joseph Mazzaro, because this kid couldn't even hold Joseph Mazzaro's jockstrap. This kid is terrible. This kid is gratingly terrible, and it's not even the dialogue. It's just by the end of it, I'm like, I'm not sure I feel bad that your parents got murdered by this monster. Sorry.
Oh, I'm glad they did. What a fucking ending. Okay, let's just get to
man.
Over on this same year, over on Twilight Zone 85, this is why Harlan Ellison quit the show, because he tried to do a similarly horror-themed episode called Knackles, which was a Christmas episode. And at the last second, CBS Standards and Practices said, you can't have a horror episode for Christmas. And well, fuck it, I quit. Meanwhile, over on Darkside, they're doing it right, where everything they've been lying to their children about is true, and this beast shows up and breaks their fucking necks and then just bails. What the fuck?
It's pretty great.
Yes, it is. Those big fucking blue hands that just burst through the windows and come in and I guess crush their heads, maybe?
I was disappointed there was no gore. We got a little bit of gore from last episode. We couldn't have like a reverse shot of their head, of goo flying against the walls. Like, come on, Tales from the Dark Side. Like, you're going to have these giant arms come through the window, but we're just going to have them go the most PG deaths. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Are you kidding? We didn't need any blood here.
Yeah, we did, because then it would be the juxtaposition of the red of Christmas time of the blood.
The arms were translucent with red veins and blue veins running through. We had plenty of red there, and they were arms as long as poplars and hands as big as basketballs, and that's exactly what we got.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I just wanted more gore for a show that in 2 episodes ago had chunks of a guy on the shower floor. This is relatively bloodless, Father Malone. You know,
absolutely.
Other than that, this episode is fantastic. I enjoyed this episode immensely. It's everything I wanted from that Tales from the Crypt Christmas episode, because I dislike that Tales from the Crypt Christmas episode. I think when we did that, we talked about, I'm not a huge fan of it, but this is hilarious. This is funny. This might be the most mean-spirited, funniest episode of this show. It's so fucking mean. But by the end of it, I'm like, all right, no, I totally believe that this family's they just got murdered because they were being morons. It's because they had a May December relationship, and God frowns upon that. The Grither is God. The Girther is someone very different.
I watch this every Christmas Eve.
Yeah, this will be part of my rotation now. What about you, Mike White?
I didn't enjoy it as much as you guys did, but I enjoy hearing you talk about it. It went on for a long time. I was surprised that this was full 22 minutes or whatever, because it's just like, all right, but they managed to keep it up. There are a few times where I was, okay, this is laggy, but they kept up the whole time. And then, I was really glad when the brother showed up, because I thought that was a really nice little twist in there. But yeah, that was all right.
You want to know what the creature reminded me of, Father Malone?
What?
Fucking boglins. Just the boglin arms just busted, because you never see the head, so you just see these 2 giant arms pop through the windows and grab their heads, and all I could think the whole time was there's just this boglin on the other side of the window, just a giant face. Just like the face of the creature from Dune, from the David Lynch Dune, just sitting there, just and then it just flies away, because Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
It flies away by ear power.
That's
right. That's right. Flaps its wings, its ear wings.
Right. Every time you say its name,
we deserve a sequel to this episode.
I kind of agree with you. The Grither.
You know
what?
what?
Do a feature length thing. Just do a whole feature length thing.
Yeah. You know what? We've done the Krampus thing. We've got it. We understand it. Okay,
Ugh.
cool. Give me this Grither. I love this idea of. I just love the idea of a fucking creature that's so ill-tempered that it doesn't want you saying its name because it's that vain as well. Don't say my name. How dare you?
Yeah, I like it. I like the conceit of this creature. It's fun.
And
And they
how about this? A story you tell your children that has a ticking clock on it that depends on them. And it only gets worse and ratchets up tension.
And I love that they actually, for as not great of an actor as he is, I like that they put Sky Birdall's terrible performance to good use. Because you're like, this kid just keeps saying the name. He's inside, like in the Krampus movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, or if memory serves, if either one of you have seen it. They don't incur Krampus's wrath intentionally, do they? The kid is like Grither, Grither, Grither. Like this kid is like, yo, what are you doing? Shining lasers at airplanes? Like, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong gonna happen here. Like the FBI shows up at your door the next day. Like this is going on YouTube and posting about Mexican cartels and then expecting them to not show up and murder you. Like I
It's
don't get
flashing
it.
a flashlight in the back of a Jeep when a T-Rex is looming over you.
Right, exactly. It's Candyman, right? It's Beetlejuice. It's trafficking in those similar things, and I like that about this, and I like that it's inexplicable too. What this is the cold open of an episode of The X-Files or a movie. This is the cold open of a movie where you introduce the audience to what the creature is, and then the rest of the movie is finally getting to see what it looks like with those arms.
Did I tell you my theory that if you took all of the prologues to all of the X-Files episodes and just stitched them into one thing, it would make a fantastic movie called The End of the World?
That
I
is
like
pretty
it.
good. That's what this feels like. The best episodes of this show feel like a self-contained thing, and this feels like a perfectly self-contained little thing. And Mike, I get not being as high on this because it does have its flaws, but at the same time, I don't know. This is like I said, everything I wanted from that Tales from the Crypt Christmas episode. So I really resonated with it. And the monster's fun.
Brither. You'll never forget it now. And the song will be in your head forever as well.
All right, God, oh man, that might be the best part is when he shows up singing it. Like, you guys are some fun. Man, parents in the '80s were fucking wild.
Oh yeah.
Parents in the '80s didn't get. Parents in the '80s and '90s were fucking insane. We had a family friend who put on a mask while we were watching Poltergeist and jumped out and scared the shit out of us. That scared me off of horror movies for almost 20 years. Like, man, they wouldn't do that now. You get in trouble. CPS would show up for shit like that now. Like, people don't do that. You wouldn't show this on Sunday on national television. Oh my God. Come on. People would be up in arms. They'd be up in arms about it. It's okay.
I think they should present it as a Christmas special. They should do it up, make it really scary now, and just present it like like a Rankin on Bass special.
A new Christmas classic from the
Brought
people
to you
who
by
brought
Dolly Madison and McDonald's. You deserve a break today.
and Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry.
Make it all.
Oh man. You're just getting me excited. The Grither Extended Universe, the GEU. That's what I want.
All right. Our next episode is Miss May Dusa. Season 3, episode number 12, aired originally on January the 18th, 1987. Written and directed by Richard Blackburn. He co-wrote and directed a flick in 1971 called Lamora, A Child of the Supernatural. And this one stars Sophia Landon-Geyer and Gary Marjarazak. This is a mannequin switcheroo in a pawn shop thing that ends up being a little bit more Greek in origin. What do you think of this one, Mike?
I like things that are Greek in origin. Tzatziki sauce, gyros. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there. Feta cheese. I'm not sure if I like this, though. We were talking about hyper stylized stuff in the last episode that we discussed a couple weeks ago. And yeah, this one is also hyper stylized, but it's hyper stylized in that really minimalist thing that we've seen before. Remember the one where it was that, I can't remember the actress's name, who gets involved in the guy's fantasy and like they all end up in his dreams and things. It reminded me of that. I didn't really understand the whole logic. Obviously, I understand that this is Medusa, and they go to great trouble to point that out and just the whole thing with the names and all that. I guess I just don't understand her powers and that, yeah, turning people into mannequins rather than stone statues, and then Jimmy James and that fucking song and just playing the fucking saxophone. I can't say I was too big of a fan of this one. What'd you think, Chris?
It definitely is up there in terms of the more fucked up endings of this show. I'll give
Oh
it
boy,
that.
yeah,
I'll
that's
give
true.
it. This episode is really we talked about the Grither being mean-spirited. This is mean-spirited. In like almost, I won't say inexcusable way, but by the end of it, I'm like, did we really have to be this mean to the poor blind man who plays saxophone, who happened to meet a Medusa mannequin who's alive, who's not Kim Cattrall? It's a strange episode. Every time I look at Sophia Landon Geyer, I think it's Kim Cattrall. From the wrong angle or right angle, she almost looks like her. She does. From when her head's turned 3/4, she looks like her. I don't know. And again, to go back to the mannequin of it all, it's a very sad, sappy, saccharine story that ends really sad and sappy and saccharine. It's fine. I don't know. This doesn't strike me as Tales from the Dark Side. It almost reminds me of something from Twilight Zone 85. And that's maybe and maybe that's the that if you're hearing me say that and you've never listened to us talk about that show and you're not one of us who have sit here and know that the other two have watched all of it, that may not mean anything to you. So to explain what that means, the tone of the episode feels so strange and specifically 80s that it feels like it's set in a specific time and a place, and that takes away from a lot of what could be interesting, and then it feels so insanely set bound, and then everybody looks like they're in the 80s on top of everything else. It's just, I don't know, it's not the worst thing I've seen, but it doesn't feel like Tales from the Dark Side, and that's a pretty big knock against this show because this show has a pretty high consistency rate in terms of good episodes. What about you, Father Malone?
My first note was this is so mid 80s it hurts.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. It is very contemporary, both in the style that we're getting and then the style of filmmaking going on here. This feels very New York short film guy, right? It's a very specific style. I will say this again though. What the other sort of stylish episode you were speaking of was the John Harrison episode, and I was praising him because I like when a filmmaker jumps in with an eye toward telling a visual story. So I liked that here. I don't necessarily think he's telling a good story or a Tales from the Dark Side story, but it's better than the set bound bullshit we've been getting. They go on location here in some of these shots. They go into the subway, and that subway set I think is actually really fucking solidly built. This is this weird two-hander though, a get to know your goddess kind of thing. And yes, as an audience member, we're way ahead of everything. We already know she's a Medusa, so we don't have to have the spoon fed. It's a huge problem here because this is Tales from the Dark Side, and we don't do characters sitting around talking unless there's some other fucking crazy cool shit going on. This is a one act. I would expect this on stage at some
This is a
experimental
blackout sketch.
Kinda, yeah.
Not kinda. Oh, it's Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four. Oh, the only woman who could love him is a woman who's blind.
Okay,
Give me a fucking break. In this one, it's practical. He has to be blind because it's Medusa.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. And then it doesn't factor into the fucking end of the episode. He just gets shot and dies.
No, he doesn't just get shot and die. He gets shot. He gets shot. She's now frozen. And he says, I don't want to die alone. And then says, are you okay?
Are you dead too? Yeah.
Says, I'm dying. Please hold me. This is a Tales from the Dark Side episode.
That is the only part of this episode that strikes me as Tales from the Dark Side.
That's enough. If you've limped through this episode and thought, I don't know what this is. This doesn't feel like Tales from the Dark Side to me. This thing is a fucking sock in the jaw, man.
I agree. Like I said, the ending of the episode bails it out. but it bails it out at the 13th hour at the fucking 99th yard line. This is like right at the last second because it really goes for it. I don't understand why though.
You just described the most exciting ending for any piece of fiction.
But why does it go there?
Why does it go to this horrible place here at the end?
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand what the episode's getting at because that's ultimately my question.
The dark side is always waiting.
Oh, don't be blind. How dare you be blind is what this feels like.
You know what? Your being blind does not make you immune from the fucked up world of Tales from the Dark Side. Even Twilight
That's
Zone
true.
wouldn't go this far. Even the original Twilight Zone wouldn't go this far. Night Gallery would have gone this far, actually. I don't know if he would have begged at the end of the Night Gallery, though.
No, it's the begging really that goes for it, right? It's this poor blind guy rolling around crying for help in the night as the Medusa's just sitting there. It's a pretty impactful ending. In an episode that otherwise just kind of has two people sitting there the whole time talking for 20 minutes.
At one point, she's describing what is clearly a like Pompeii exploding, the Vesuvius exploding. And I'm such a stupid nerd that it just sounded like the destruction of Alderaan to me.
Yeah, I kind of got those vibes. Yep.
They knew how to write the parts that mattered. The problem is those parts were just like long-winded monologues of one character talking about like Rutger Hauering from Blade Runner. I have seen the moon drops on Orion. I have seen Vesuvius, the blast of Vesuvius from miles away. Okay. It's just, again, like you guys have both already mentioned, we're already so far ahead of her. We're like, no shit. We don't have to be told that. We know that. Let's have them go out and about and do things, not have it go, this guy, unlucky, meets her, now he's dead. Now she's frozen again, the end. And she's not even going to know what happened to him, or is she?
No, I don't
Does
think
she
so.
lose cognizance the moment she turns back to stone?
No, she'll remember, I think, because it's a
She'll
little.
remember him, but will she remember him getting shot and dying?
Oh,
See what I mean? Because that's like the whole thing. That's like the whole premise of the episode.
that's even more
It's-
horrifying.
Well, that's my point. It's even worse. Because again, isn't the premise of the episode that she is just being frozen at certain times in history by seeing herself in the mirror or seeing her reflection somehow? Is that what it is? Because that's how you freeze the Medusa?
I don't know. I didn't understand the rules at all. I didn't care.
But that's the rules of the Medusa from Greek mythology is they use the shield to reflect it back at her so that she turns to stone.
Yeah, haven't you
so-
seen Clash of the
the
Titans?
Titans?
Come on, we all know this.
All right, Sam Worthington.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry. So when she sees herself in the mirror, she freezes herself. So I assume the way they're talking about it, she loses consciousness the moment she freezes. So yes, it is even worse because the next time she wakes up, she'll be like, "Where's that guy?" And it'll be like, "We are selling dreams. Dreams are for sale." You know what I mean? It's like the far-flung future because she keeps talking about how she's like tripping through time. Essentially, she's a time traveler in every way with the machine. She has a mechanism through which she travels through time. That's why we have these monologues about Pompeii and everything else.
See, if that's the case, then no matter what ended up happening to him, she wasn't going to. It was just going to be another person she experienced until she fucking saw herself in a mirror again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kind of on the impermanence of being, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit heavy on Sunday night. Off to school, kids.
But that should have been a better title for this episode than Miss May Dusa,
Yeah.
the impermanence of being.
Anything would be better than Miss May Dusa. By the way, what is with this written and directed by credit for Richard Blackburn? That's a first on Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
And I also think it'll be the last. Thanks, Rich.
I like him, especially the work that he did on Eating Raoul. And yeah, Lamora I thought was pretty darn solid as well. I wish that he had been able to write and direct more, had more acting roles than writing and directing stuff. I think he was doing plays after this because I spoke with him years and years ago for Eating Raoul. But nice guy. And yeah, I just wish this episode was a little bit better.
Expected more.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not the worst we've seen from
But
this show.
Love the fucking ending.
Yeah, the ending's great. The ending somewhat saves it as best it can, really.
Then. All right.
Hey, remember how many bad Tales from the Crypt episodes endings not just ruined the episode, but negated a good episode? I guess a good ending can help a bad episode. It's not a,
Mhm.
it's okay. It's
That's the thing.
okay.
It's not like a bad episode.
No, it's honestly more than anything else, a boring episode is maybe the problem. And being boring or just uninteresting is the problem because the conceit's interesting. They just don't do anything with it. They're like, let's just do a two-man show. Like, right? What'd you do if you could talk to a Greek goddess for 5 minutes? Like,
It's an interesting concept. I like all these. I like the actors involved. I actually even like the way it's shot. It's just that they don't have anything interesting to say for 22 minutes. It should be somehow fast paced in a way. Like even if they're sitting there at the fucking subway, have trains showing up and people getting on and off. Give us something, not just a fucking stage play.
yeah, there have been a couple stage play episodes this season. The one with the vampires, that was one.
I love that one.
Again, it was a stage play, right? It felt very much like a stage play.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. This one, yeah, the ending on this one is just horrific, really. Jesus, show, calm down. Take
Please
a chill,
don't let me die alone.
Oh,
hold me. I don't want to die. Like,
Somebody hold me. Oh
God,
man.
and him questioning whether or not she was dead either was also just like heartbreaking.
Right, he's calling out for her. Oh my God. All right. On the next episode of Midnight Viewing, we're taking a look at the next 2 episodes from season 3. Those are The Milkman Cometh and My Ghostwriter the Vampire. Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, is a proud member of Weirding Way Media Group. Our theme song was composed by HP with an assist by Donald Rubenstein. Until next time, what are you working on? Where can people find it, Chris Stashu?
Surprisingly, I'll keep making the joke, cranking on ass. Not a show I do, but The Milkman Cometh does like sound like something we would cover on that show.
Yeah.
For the real shows that I work on, you can find them at weirdingwaymedia.com, other than one thing, which you can find at patreon.com/culturecast or patreon.com/projection booth, which is Rankin on Bond, which Father Malone, who has his own Patreon, patreon.com/Father Malone, he has joined us on 1, soon to be 2 episodes of that to talk about James Bond and his love of James Bond movies. And yeah, so that was fun, and I'll be back soon to talk about
Which one am I on again? I forget.
Timothy Dalton, License to Kill.
That's Dalton's first?
Second.
Second?
You know we're coming straight for your heart, right?
Is it the one, the Benicio del Toro one?
Yeah, the Robert Davi one.
Oh, so it's Felix Leitner, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to watch that again.
Yeah. So that's where you can find all that. What about you, Mike White?
pretty much everything that you just said, all the way down to the Patreons. So yeah, come on over, listen to some Rankin on Bass, and come on over to weirdingwaymedia.com and listen to everything else. How about you, Father Malone?
As for me, what they said, patreon.com/Father Malone. Episodes are early and commercial free over there. Also, go listen to HP's shows. Night Mr. Walters, a taxi podcast, just started season 3 over there on that one. And his solo show, Noise Junkies, where it's his music show. It's fucking fantastic. Go listen to that. He's also put out a new album. Go check out all of HP's stuff, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us here at Midnight Viewing. Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight. I'm going to put the Grither song here. Enjoy.
Oh, I am the Grither. You cannot escape me, for pleading is useless, and so are your prayers. The Grither is greedy for only one thing, to keep you from taking, to keep you from taking, to keep you from taking his name in vain.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies, inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.